Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is an exciting one for me personally, because in today's video, I'm showing you this beautiful space that I have created over the years. We're doing a little shop tour video. So, back in September 21, I did a little shop tour, and there has been a lot of changes since that video. So I was thinking that maybe we could walk around here and look at what I have going on. I think I got it about as dialed in and about as perfect as a person can have for, well, working within the constraints that I have. For those of you who do not know, this shop is actually a 20-foot shipping container. And I did install a window myself. I would say that the shipping container is nicer than most in that it is a single shipment shipping container. So, built in China, loaded up with stuff, shipped out here to the United States, unloaded, and well, I purchased it. Now it's mine. So, this is my little workspace. And having a shipping container has its own problems. Also, living next to a very busy road has its own problems as well, especially when it comes to filming YouTube videos. The space is very dialed in. I've done a lot of things. I was thinking we could go around and we could look at some machines, look at the last couple of things that I have in mind, and kind of show you what it's like out here. I am standing right at the door here, and this is what it looks like when you come into the space. Right off to my right here is my oil slab saw. Many of you have seen this already. It's a 14-inch oil slab saw. It is very old. I would have to say late 70s, and it is a homemade saw. A couple of the improvements that I have made to this, well, I have a tray down here now. So this tray is actually the liner for a dog kennel, and I have some kitty litter. It's oil-based, so you cut a rock, you throw your rock down there in the cat litter, and, well, it sucks up the oil. It's a little hard to see, but I do have enough room back here to where I could potentially do a saw upgrade. 14 inches is a little on the small side. An 18-inch would come out about another 6 inches or so, which that's very doable. And obviously it would go out farther this way, and I have plenty of room to keep my tanks here, which speaking of which, I don't show a whole heck of a lot of welding and fabrication on the channel at this point. I used to do a lot more, but there's little considerations when doing welding and fabrication work in a shop with a wooden floor. But yeah, a welding table works pretty well. I try to keep the space really clean and neat because otherwise, well, having a little space that's cluttered makes me like completely crazy. Next kind of project right here. Okay, so I want to do a belt guard for the saw. So kind of doing some CAD, cardboard aided design. We'll get to that. One thing that is new is all of these shelves. You know, I don't get to exclusively use my shipping container here for just, well, shipping container lapidary stuff. So, but I do have some rocks. I have some general storage, general tools, chop saw, welder, planer, compressor, little bits and bobs. And that's kind of most of the general stuff. Bins of rocks. So this is relatively new. You know, I have my ultrasonic cleaner, different fixtures, different lapidary things, you know, pulleys, doing machine design. This is my saw blade fixing a jig. Different stuff for cutting rocks, blades, towels, polishes, wooden wedges for the oil saw, a vacuum chamber, which I have not been able to use really for a number of reasons, but I would like to do some more of that this summer. Have my little flat lap, some wheels and supplies. Now, you might be seeing this and looking at this and being like, well, why are the machines down here? That is a very good question. I have my little metal vertical bandsaw and my carpet wheel, which I designed, a Richardson's high-speed sander. Now, these are mostly down here most of the time so that I can maintain open workbench, which for me is very critical. This guy's getting ready to get put away. This is a diesel heater that is plumbed to the outside of the building. So the exhaust's out, hot, dry air blowing in, which is very nice. This bench. It's got a piece of plastic that I salvaged out of a van just to kind of have something waterproof. And this is where those machines over there will go. So it only takes a couple of minutes to pull these out and put them away, but these work really well for storing down there and out of the way, and well, break them out when I need them. If you haven't seen any of the videos I have done on this machine right here, I'll link it. The Richardson's high-speed sander is great for bigger things, you know, thunder eggs, stuff like that. And then this machine right here is a slow speed buffer that I designed, and the plans are available on my website, currently rockhounding.com, for free. You can go check it out, build your own. Very cool, spins slow, polishes stuff, very nice. But when you have this little space, you got to really think about how it's going to be utilized. So I do have this kind of gear loft catch-all, and you can see up here, it's actually hanging from chains, and those are the tie downs. So if you want to like secure stuff out here in the shop that, like, you know, or not in the shop, in a shipping container for shipping purposes, well, it is very, very nice to be able to hang something like that. And I do have kind of stuff going up to the ceiling. You might be wondering what the metal fabric looking stuff is. I am not concerned about aliens or the government reading my thoughts, at least not of right now. But this is a radiant barrier, and it works actually quite well for shielding radiant heat from coming in the summertime, because it can be like a little toaster oven out here. Got the window. I need to get a big fan. I'm thinking about a fan that I can put from a just magnet up to the ceiling. Because that is a benefit of the shipping container, just being able to have a magnet. The benches, if you're going to be working on machines, doing any type of fabricating, bench vise. Ooh, real quick, this apron. This is such an awesome, awesome apron. This apron is from Kingsley North. Lapidary sales people. Kingsley is very cool. That's my new favorite apron. But yeah, so I have a bunch of machines up there. Kind of a general catch-all shelf down here. We of course have bins and bins of rocks. Bins and bins of rocks. And well, before you know it, you have a very full space. If you're a regular viewer here on the channel, you might recognize, let's see, that angle right there. This is where I film my Saturday night special weekly video, and these are all rocks that have been gifted to me, which I love looking at. It's crazy what the project has became over the years. Very nice to be able to just kind of see some of these rocks. I need to cut and polish some of them. But overall, they are just a cool backdrop, cool to look at, come out and just do stuff. The bench over here generally has things that I'm working on. Like these rocks here are ready to get buffed on the carpet wheel. These are going to get polished up. So I'm just kind of, I lay stuff out and have my hardware store, which this saves me like 9 million trips to the hardware store. But one thing I wanted to show you is this little ledger right here. This is very important. You know, we have a small space, and when you have a small space, well, you got to get creative. Look at that. So I just have a board here, and it can span this, and it gives me several extra feet of bench space. Obviously, I'd be usually on that side, and I can work on bigger projects, bigger builds, things that I want to do, have even just stuff kind of laid out, which is really nice, very handy to have. I do kind of have to climb under it when I have things sitting here, but that's not too bad. Not too bad, and it does work really well. I want to share with you what I'm sitting on, because what I'm sitting on is super, super important. This is my shop stool that I designed and fabricated myself. It's just kind of a tripod. Nothing too special. It is very heavy, being that it is made out of 1/8 inch, 1.5 inch square tubing. But we have this big Acme thread here, and that is so it can spin up really, really high. Not so much for the height adjustment, you know, like for me personally, but I spin it up and I can use this as a material support. So if I'm having to cut wood, cut steel, something big and long, I can wind this guy up and I can get it up to the height of, let's say, my metal cutting bandsaw, or up to a bench, and have material span it that way. This machine here, I entirely fabricated myself. Well, almost. The actual spinning arbor part, I didn't, but all of this metal work, it's all aluminum, stainless hardware, wooden base. All of this stuff I kind of thought up myself. It is a 8x3 expandable drum arbor for, well, polishing rocks. That's, you know, it's what I have in lieu of a traditional 6-wheel cab machine. I've been very, very happy with this, as well as this. So in the last shop tour video in fall 21, I did not have this saw, this Lortone TS10C 10-inch saw, and I'm very stoked on this. I have been using it a lot. I love it. It has been just absolutely great for me to have. I think the 10-inch plus the 14-inch is a good combo. I think the 10 plus an 18 or a 16 would be a little bit better. It would be a little bit nicer. But, you know, I don't have a bigger saw. So I have those. Right here as well, I can pull out my high-tech diamond flat lap and set it up. I mean, in the perfect world, I think we would have a shop space where everything is out all the time, although that is not really a feasible option for me out here in this space. But that said, I do have plans for other machines that I would like, because I have a couple of ideas. I have some things that I want to work towards. I have been contemplating having another machine permanently kind of here on this bench. So rather than having it permanently open, a portion of this would be permanently taken up, basically. So I would have to kind of keep working in batches and doing stuff like pull out the Richardsons, polish up everything that I want on the Richardsons, put it away, grab the carpet wheel, set up the carpet wheel, and it's a little inconvenient, but with the direction that I'm going, I think it might work out. I think it would work out really well. So here's my plan. I want a basically a four-wheeled cab machine. That's kind of my idea. I have the arbor with the expandable drums that I put these different belts on, and that works out great. I love that as like as a system, you know. But if I had a cab machine that was four 8-inch wheels, they generally would take up about 22 inches. So 22 inches, this is 48 inches. So that puts me like about basically half. Puts me about like halfway here. There's a couple that I have in mind, but I might end up just having to build one. So stay tuned for that. I might just have to build what I want. But that would work out really, really well. So I think that could be a viable option moving forward. The other thing that I might do for winter 23-24 is move my heater over to my fabricating table, and then I would have the top of this tool chest as a place for that kind of cab machine, which that might work out really well. Because generally I'm not doing any kind of welding fabrication out here in the winter, so that might be the direction I go with that. And I could have a four-wheeled machine right here instead. Yeah, I think that would work. And then I could still kind of use my big open bench space. I would like to point out that obviously I built the arbor. The lower tone saw, I got that used. Obviously my 14-inch saw, I got that used. My Richardson's, I got that used. I built the carpet wheel myself, and I'm definitely doing this as affordably as possible, you know. Trying to have everything be very clean and perfect and nice and functionable while keeping everything very budget friendly. I mean, full disclosure, right? I don't have the money to just go out and just be like, new machines, as fun as that might be, that's not me. So in all reality, if I want a bigger saw, I'm probably gonna have to build a bigger saw. If I want a four-wheeled machine, I'm probably gonna have to build a four-wheeled machine, which isn't the end of the world, but it does mean things move at a snail's pace around here, But overall, you know, I've just been very happy with the direction of it, and I thought I would share. I think there is a lot to be learned about seeing how somebody works, workflow, what's important. You know, if you go look at the other shop videos that I have here on the channel, the playlist of shop tours, I think you'll see that like people like have a system, you know, like me, I have my oil saw at the entrance of my shop. I can take big rocks, cut them down. The saw is kind of far away from the other end of the shop. I know it's only like, 15 feet, but like it makes a difference. You can then come in, more trimming, polishing, big open spaces for working on stuff. And there's things like that I really appreciate about seeing other people's shops. And I hope you appreciate this one as well. So, thank you for coming by, looking at my little shipping container workshop. Could be better, but it's what I have. Don't let your space be the limitation, you know. I mean, I know people that have shops and sheds and basements and spare bedrooms, and, you don't have to have a ginormous space. Sometimes you make do with what you have, and currently this is what I have. So, with that said, thanks for coming by, everybody, hanging out with me in the shop. I appreciate you, and I will catch you in the next video.